I was digging through the collection last night and realized half the stories you've heard about these photos are completely wrong. Axel here. 10 shots today from the Midnight Rock Memories files, and the real history is a hell of a lot darker than the captions suggest. Let's go. 5 kids in a limo, plaid everywhere, at the peak of one of the loudest teen explosions in history. In '75, they were outselling the Stones and Zeppelin. But behind the screams, it was a financial disaster in slow motion. The band eventually discovered they'd earned millions and seen almost none of it. Those smiles are real. The contracts they signed were something else entirely. The next one is a different kind of chaos. 4 guys who weren't just performing anger, they were living it. Mid-60s, early Who, before the stadium shows. Just 4 guys from West London with genuine fury in their veins. Pete Townsend has said the guitar smashing started as a complete accident. He cracked a neck on a low ceiling, and the crowd lost their minds. So he did it again. Then again. What started as an embarrassing mistake became the defining image of a generation. Speaking of someone who turned a near miss into an entire career. Jack Daniels on the stool, cigarette burning, Les Paul in hand. This is Slash, before Appetite even dropped. G and R were still dangerous nobodies. What most people miss. Slash almost wasn't in the band at all. He auditioned, got turned down, and only got the call back because the first choice didn't work out. The band nearly missed him entirely. Imagine that alternate universe. But while Slash was playing clubs, the next shot shows what rock looks like when it moves entire cities. Look at that sea of people outside MSG. Thousands of fans, mounted police, barricades, and that's just the sidewalk. The Stones' '81 tour was a pure juggernaut. What strikes me every time is the sheer human weight of it. No streaming, no internet. You had to camp out for days if you wanted a piece of this. An old buddy of mine was in that crowd. Says it was the day his life actually started. Did any of you catch the Stones back then? Full stage makeup, sitting on a park bench next to a lady with her groceries. Nobody even looked surprised. That's 1974 New York for you. The reality? Kiss had just dropped their debut and were running the whole operation on borrowed money and borrowed time. Sometimes the gap between the image and the bank account is exactly where the momentum comes from. Speaking of someone who had nothing but pure certainty and no safety net. 2 years before Horses. Before the world outside a small Lower East Side circle knew her name. In '73, she was doing spoken word in tiny venues, living on almost nothing. What gets me about this shot is her face. She looks completely untouchable. Most people that certain of themselves at that stage have no business being so. She had everything to back it up. She just hadn't shown us yet. Next photo is someone who spent decades showing the world, strictly on his own terms. Still doing the duck walk at 47. Still owning every room he walked into. Here's my take, and I know people will push back. Chuck Berry gets cited as an influence so often that people forget he was a flat-out killer performer in his own right, not just a museum piece. He was notoriously difficult to work with, demanded payment up front, no rehearsals, used whatever local band was available. Was he right to operate that way? I think he was. Tell me if you disagree. The only band that matters. And for a few years, it wasn't just a slogan. Boston, '79, right as they were cracking America open. Here's the paradox nobody talks about. The more political they got, the more records they sold. London Calling was their most ambitious work and their biggest commercial hit. Integrity and success aren't always enemies. The clash proved it. But the pressure was already starting to show in the seams. No date, no location. Just Keith Moon looking like a completely ordinary guy in glasses. That's what people miss. Off stage, he could be quiet, shy, even gentle. The chaos and the hotel destruction were a performance. People close to him said the wild man was a character he couldn't stop playing. He passed at 32. Whatever was behind that character, we never really got to find out. Last photo is two guys who made it through everything the road threw at them. Two Michigan guys headed in completely different directions. Seeger had been grinding for a decade. Night moves finally made him a household name that same year. Nugent was already a loud, unstoppable force. Both from Detroit, both built on pure live energy. Two versions of the American rock dream shaking hands in an Ohio parking lot. Nobody taking this photo thought it would matter. Now here we are, looking at it. Axel here. 10 photos. 10 moments where the caption doesn't come close to the real story. I'll say it straight. That Chuck Berry shot is the most honest thing in this whole set. Drop your thoughts below, especially if you think I'm wrong.